The proclamation of the Holy Gospel according to John. Jesus went out to the Mount of Olives. At daybreak, he reappeared in the temple area, and when the people started coming to him, he sat down and began to teach them. The scribes and the Pharisees led the woman forward who had been caught in adultery. They made her stand there in front of everyone. "Teacher," they said to him, "this woman has been caught in the act of adultery. In the law, Moses ordered such women to be stoned. What do you have to say about the case?" They were posing this question to trap him, so that they could have something to accuse him of. Jesus simply bent down and started tracing on the ground with his finger. When they persisted in their questioning, he straightened up and said to them, "Let the man among you who has no sin be the first to cast a stone at her." A second time he bent down and wrote on the ground. Then the audience drifted away one by one, beginning with the elders. This left him alone with the woman, who continued to stand there before him. Jesus finally straightened up again and said to her, "Woman, where did they all disappear to? Has no one condemned you?" "No one, sir," she answered. Jesus said, "Nor do I condemn you. You may go, but from now on, avoid this sin." The Gospel of the Lord.
Our Gospel passage for this Sunday is taken from the Gospel of St. John. We have been reflecting on how God's mercy makes of us a new creation, how the mercy of God opens new possibilities so that we could walk towards new life. That was the experience that is depicted in the first reading from the prophet Isaiah. The people humiliated by their sinfulness, sent or dispersed in captivity into exile, is now promised by God. Yes, I will do something greater than your original experience of liberation from slavery in Egypt. Yes, that will be surpassed. I will do something new, and for your sake, my people, because you bear my name. So again, it is not because Israel has finally proven itself to God. No, it is God, out of God's mercy, that recreates His own people, simply because it is my people. In the second reading, St. Paul says he now just focuses on what lies ahead, his new life, not his past life. And what was the pivotal point? It was because Jesus has taken hold of him. He who was sinful and undeserving was loved by Christ, claimed as his own. So now the future of St. Paul is set. He wants to belong to Christ. He wants to be in union with Christ. He wants to be a new person in Christ, sharing in the suffering and death of Christ, so that he could also share new life in Christ. And again, it's mercy, not because Paul has proven anything to Jesus Christ, simply the mercy of Jesus, who took him as his own. Now the Gospel, the story of the woman caught in adultery. Look at the context. The scribes and the Pharisees presented this woman to Jesus. Where? Not in private, but in a public place where Jesus was teaching so many people. And the scribes and Pharisees brought this woman to humiliate her publicly, to announce her sinfulness, but also, according to the gospel, to put Jesus to the test. They wanted to trap Jesus. They wanted to have a case against Jesus. And so, they wanted Jesus to give his views regarding a woman caught in adultery and whether Jesus would observe the law of Moses, which dictated that a person caught in adultery should be stoned to death. So this woman deserved, according to the law of Moses, death. In this case, publicly conducted stoning. They brought the woman to be condemned to death. But in the process, they also wanted a death sentence for Jesus. They wanted Jesus to be accused of neglecting the law, of disregard of the law of Moses. Jesus' answer was a classic example of divine mercy. First, divine mercy to the scribes and Pharisees. It is not just the woman caught in adultery that experiences Jesus' mercy at this point. Even the scribes and Pharisees. How? Jesus, after writing something mysterious on the ground, tells them, okay, the one among you who has no sin, be the first to cast a stone at her. So, in a way, Jesus did not repudiate the law of Moses. In fact, he was subtly saying, okay, let the law stand, but let it be implemented by those who have not sinned at all. Now, this is Jesus' mercy to the scribes and Pharisees. He is reminding them, look, how is your communion with this woman? Do you remember that you are also sinful? Do you remember how you have also transgressed God's law and how you also deserved punishment? Do you remember that? And look at how it liberated the scribes and Pharisees. They went away. Nobody threw a stone at the woman. Jesus, in a way, recreated them from being a condemnatory group to a people that is humble and who could be compassionate to others. They did not throw a stone at her. So Jesus liberates us from self-righteousness that makes us condemned to death other people, forgetting that we are also sinners. We need such a liberation. We need that new life leading to compassion. And the second was towards the woman. Jesus says, I do not condemn you to death, which means new life is offered to you. Go and do not sin again. Do not do this sin again. Do not commit this sin again. Yes, I do not condemn you to hopelessness, but you have to do your share. But I guess this woman, experiencing mercy, would also not think of going back to that old life. I hope she would not waste that new life offered to her by this merciful Lord. My dear brothers and sisters, let us all look back at our own experiences. See how the offer of new life, the new paths towards new life, the possibility of being recreated happened to us because God has been merciful and other people have shown us mercy. A few days ago, I was able to visit the beautiful land, the beautiful people of Lebanon because of my involvement with Caritas. And I saw for myself the misery of exile, especially in the experiences, the eyes and the sorrows of the refugees. But I also was able to encounter people who were detained, most of them illegal migrant workers. I also had the chance to commune with people who were running away from abusive employers. And so they find shelter in some religious houses and Caritas houses. The stories are voluminous to tell you, but there is a common thread, especially among those who were already at the brink of despair, not knowing what's in store for them. One of them, a woman, in tears said, I thought I would just be discovered dead on the road. But thanks to charitable people, thanks to people who do not know me, but showed me love and compassion, I ended up in this shelter. I feel safe. I know there is new life for me and my family. A little mercy, a little compassion, a little love can spell the path called new creation, new life for many people. The word has been exposed. Let us now fulfill it.